Kirabo Robert has been a refugee for 35 years, and now he just wants a place to call home. In this program, we talk about his flight from Darfur, his life in the refugee camps, and his quest to build a home for his family. Please visit the website refugeeradio.org.uk/Robert to see pictures of the family and find out more about how you can get involved.
Welcome to Refugee Radio.
First of all, I want to thank you, Mr. Steve, for this wonderful opportunity to speak to your listeners and to everyone out there listening. I'm very thankful for this wonderful time to express myself and what we are going through with my family. I'm really very grateful for someone to be there outside to listen to us. I'm really very grateful for that. My name is Kirabo Robert. I stay in Uganda. I am a Sudanese refugee from Darfur. I've been in Uganda for quite a long time. I've been here for almost 35 years. All my childhood, I've been in Uganda. I came in Uganda with my parents in 1989. By then I was 5 years old. From that time, I've been staying in Uganda to now. And that's where I'm broadcasting from right now. My father used to work for the then government before President Bashir deposing that government. He was in a government and he was a government official. He was in the province of Darfur. That was the time when the government was taken over by President Bashir. Now, during that time, before the takeover, the Far people, they're around in Darfur, there are tribes, but there's a tribe of the Far. They had started a civil war against the militia groups backed by the government. So my father was working in the government, and to the Zagawa people, his tribe, they expected a lot from him. Then when the new government came in, they saw him as a stumbling block or a traitor who was ready to rebel against the government. Why? The government which had come in by President Bashir in 1989, it had mobilized against the local African indigenous people within Darfur. And now tribes were rallying against that. So that's what basically how the war was all about. And my father, being a government official in the previous government, he was seen as a stumbling block by the new government. Then to his own people, they wanted war, but his opinion was they could not start a war when people were starving. They had people who were dying of hunger. They did not have weapons to start that. So he was against it from his people. Then from the side of the government, he was seen as a traitor. And that, he could not. Actually, a lot of things happened to the family. Some family members were killed, and that's why he ran away from there. It's basically that. He was not involved in the war, but from both sides, he was seen as a traitor. He was boiling. He could not join any side. From his people, the Zagawas, he was advising them it was going to be catastrophic for them. Then from the government, they saw him as like he was organizing his tribesmen to start the war against the government. So that's basically the role, basically the reason why he left. And he chose not to go to Chad for reasons why. In Chad, maybe that's why most of the Zagawas are. Our tribesmen, that's where they are. But going there, it wouldn't be safe for him. So he chose a faraway country than going close. Basically, that's why he left. He was not a rebel. He was not involved in any war, but he was against the war from the start. Yes, it was there, but he was against it. And the crime was not choosing a side for his people. By then I was still young, but I remember we were home. Then an aunt came. She told us we were moving somewhere. Me and my young sister. Actually, we went running. She took us by hand. There's nothing she took from home. We went running, and we met our mother on the way. Then our father joined us later. But on the way, this is what our father told us. Actually, he told me this after growing up. As a family members were killed at night. All people who were related to him were killed. Not by the government forces, but by our own people. For having been seen as a traitor or a betrayer. People were killed. And that's how we left. There's nothing we came with. Everything was maybe everything remained behind. What I know and what he told me, all the family members were killed. Those people he was staying with were killed, except we who were saved and him. They were not killed by the rebels, they were not killed by the government, but by our own people for not choosing war over peace.
That must have been obviously a terrifying experience for you and the family. How much of it were you aware of as a child? The reality of what was happening?
At some point, my father was arrested before all that happening. He was arrested and taken to a police station. And I remember when I was young, we were taken to go visit him. Then, after like some weeks, he came back home. Then at night, they would come, throw stones at the house. At one point, they threw fire at the home, but it did not burn. And at night, you could not understand. We couldn't understand who these people were and why. Because we were young. But at least I saw my father was taken to the police, and then fire being thrown at us. Just that. The rest of the politics, I did not understand much of it.
What was your experience of the journey then? It's a long way from Sudan down to Uganda. What was the journey like for your family?
The journey, when we met with my mom, and then our dad came, he had a bag, and from there was a vehicle which first took us from there. Then we had to move up to Juba. From this side, we moved to Juba. That's where maybe the best transport was. Then from Juba, we came footing. Somewhere we could board, and then we foot. Somewhere we could board, and then we foot. It took us around 5 days to reach Uganda. 5 days to reach Uganda. We used to move day and night. By then, when we reached in Uganda, we crossed the border. And on crossing the border, Uganda was very peaceful by then. Because when we were coming, Dad used to tell us, where we are going is a better place. We are going to get land. We are going to have a big farm. Because back home, he had some cows, goats, but we did not have a big land. So he was telling us in Uganda, we're going to have a big land. There is rain. It's not very hot. The place is good. And when we reached, I saw a lot of green in Uganda. Uganda is green. The place was good. We were welcomed. We were given a place where to sleep. And life was just full of smiles by then. And everyone was happy. We as children were happy. I was really very happy. I could play. There's no problem I saw by then when I came, because I was under care. We were given where to sleep, and I used to eat. That's all.
And then what happened with your early years? Did you get to go to school? Did your family get that nice farm? How did things play out for you?
When I came to Uganda, we were welcomed. We introduced ourselves to UNHCR, just like any other refugee. We were given some few things. One, they gave us a tent and some food. Then we were transferred to a refugee camp in Arua district. From there, that's why we went to Rhino refugee camp. It was our first refugee camp we arrived to. Then we used that tent. They erected where we could stay. During our stay, I started school from there. My sister was still very young. I started school, early childhood school. And really everything was okay. I went to school. My father wasn't working, but at least he could afford the school fees. We used to move out of the camp to a nearby school. And I attended my primary school. During that time, I did not see any problem being young. I used to eat. I used to play. I used to go to school. Everything was fine. It was fine. Me as a child, it was fine. Because other than getting food, there was nothing much I needed. If I get food, I sleep, I go to school. I did not know much of the other things with the parents, how they were faring, how it was. But after some few years, then things changed. How? We started shifting from camps. For reasons I did not know. We started shifting from one camp to another. At one point, I remember I was at school. My father came and he picked me from school during school hours. And teachers were asking, why are you taking him? He said, no, there's somewhere I'm taking him and he's coming back tomorrow. Reaching home, everything, we just moved to another place. For years, that was the case. With no reason, one day, you wake up and move to another place. Then I completed my primary 7. After my primary 7, I joined secondary school. But it was in 1995. It was in 1995. It was an evening. I remember that. It was an evening. We were in Olu camp. It's called Olu refugee camp. And it was an evening. There was a show in a camp. Then I went with my father to visit a friend. We went by around 8. We left mom and my sister home. Then we went to visit a friend in that camp. Within that camp, there was a show still. Some people had gone for a show. For us, we had gone to visit a friend. And we left mom home and my sister. We were there around 11 p.m. at night. Then people came rushing. People came running and screaming at my friend's father's home. They were asking him about my father, where he was. And he asked them, what is the problem? There is fire that has gutted their home. Then my father ran. He left me behind. He went running. Reaching, our hut had burnt down, because during that time, my father had built a grass thatched house in the camp. It was grass thatched house, but it had burnt down, and all the top had fallen inside. Then at the door, it was locked from outside. And within the house, that's where my mother was, and my sister. They all burnt from that house. They all burnt from that house. And I did not come that morning. Then they picked me the following day. I came. I did not get a chance of looking at their bodies. They were all burnt. Like after 2 days of burial, again we left that place. From there, we came to a camp called Kirandongo Refugee Settlement. It's within Kirandongo district. By then it was Masindi. Father did not tell me why, but all he told me was an accident. And that's how we started. Then we came for, Mom had died and my young sister on the same day. Not that they were sick, but the hut was burnt down, or with a purpose, because it was locked from out. When we reached Kiandongo, that's where we started the life of two people. Two people. Me and my father. I continued with school from Kirandongo there up to senior 4. I started my senior 4. But maybe the other thing, my father wasn't working, but at least he was affording all the expenses. So it's something I didn't ask myself then. But after growing up, I realized that my father wasn't working, but at least he was paying for me school fees. Then after senior 4, we went to another camp. We shifted from Kiriandongo. We went to Changwali refugee camp. It's in Hoima. From there, I started my senior 6. Senior 6, Form 6. And I passed very well. It was during my holidays, during that vacation, my father fell sick from that side. He died from there too. By then I was around 22 years old. That's when he died from Changwari refugee camp. And it was one of the hardest periods for me. I did not have a relative. I did not have any family member. I'd come to Uganda when I was young. My parents, they were all gone. Left alone in a refugee camp. Life was really very hard. I was still a school-going student. I was not working. I was always looked after by my father. Then out of the blue, things changed within a short period of time. And that's how I started staying alone. I started that life alone. I accepted I could not survive without doing something. I did not have hope of continuing with my education. By then, there were no trainings for refugees within camps. No, there were no trainings within refugee camps. I started working. But to work just to get food. To work just to get survival, like buying soap. Not working for development of any type, but just surviving. Anything you get, it keeps you to survive. Then in my heart, I felt I could not stay alone all that time. Life was a bit hard for me. You don't have a relative, you don't have a family member. I said, I need to get a family of my own. I said, I need to get a family. My purpose of getting a family was to get at least a relative, a family member, or someone close to me I could speak to. And mostly I viewed getting children more than just having children, but as brothers, sisters, my family. That was my point of getting a family, because I was alone. And I married. I don't know how it is, but I woke up one day, there was someone I was seeing, my wife, she's called Agnes. Then I married, and I started off life from there.
How old were you when you married?
I was around 22. I was 22. But during that horrible time, I call it horrible. Why? There are things I experienced which were very painful. I almost lost my life during that period. When I got a child, we got our first child in 2001. The boy lived for 6 months. Then the baby died of malaria. But during that time, I did not have any help. I did not have any support, nor did I have the money to pay for the medication. No. And within the camp, the only thing we were given was protection, safety, a place where to stay. Then for the medication, food, it could be given annually, maybe like for food annually, and it was never enough. So during that time when my child was sick, I did not have money. Yes, I was working, but the small money I used to get couldn't be enough to support or to care for everything at home. So the baby died from malaria. It broke my heart terribly. It broke my heart. Why? The person had got like my own blood had died. I'd lost my parents, and even when I had gotten children, still, I couldn't do anything to save them, to keep one. It was very heartbreaking for me. It broke me down for some years. It broke me down, but we stayed. My wife was there. She was very hard. She's a hardworking woman and a very strong woman. She stayed and comforted me. Around 2005, we got another child. After all that time, we were having no child. We got another child. The baby stayed for 3 years. In 2008, again, the baby died. When we were still in the camp, it was again very terrible. With this one, it was very terrible to handle. I told my wife to go back, because if we are giving birth to children and they're dying, we couldn't stay. But she said, no, things will be okay. She was stronger than me by then, very strong. And what we agreed, the problem was not with our care, but the problem was with our location. Why? The hygiene, the house we are staying in, because by then, the hut we are staying in, it could rain and water would wet everything within the house. And when it rains, because that place was in a lowland area, when it rains, water could drain, would come and enter in our house, and everything. If you're sleeping, you have to stand, you hold the baby, then water enters the house. And she said, no. For us to have a better family, we need to be out of the camp. Yes, outside might be a bit hard, but there are opportunities. One, we can get jobs. Two, we can get better accommodations. And also, mostly, for self-reliance. We can start off when we are looking after ourselves to develop. Then when she told me of that, I looked at it, I said, it's okay. We decided to leave the camp. When we left the camp, in 2013, God blessed us with another child. After some years, 2013, he blessed us with another child, and we named him Raymond. We say he's our living firstborn. We lost 2 children before, but he became our living firstborn. Immediately, when the child was growing up, with fear in us, maybe even this one might die, we got another pregnancy. In 2014, we got a second child. She's called Rodin, but a girl. Then we started raising these kids. But on the way, things turned out to be totally different from how we had calculated, from how we thought, from what we viewed, from what we dreamed of. It became really hard. How? It became very hard for us finding jobs outside. Being a foreigner is another thing. Being not skilled on any job is another issue. By then, we still had the language barrier, was another issue also. So finding job was really very hard. So the only jobs we could get, maybe my wife washing clothing for people around there, and then for me, going for labor jobs like going to gardens, offloading cement, loading some goods. And those are the jobs we've got all our life. These are the jobs we are doing. And even today, they're the very things we are still doing. When things were hard, we hoped of going back to the refugee camp. But because of the people we had left behind, everyone was running away from camps. Yes, when you've just come, you can stay within the camp. But after some time, you realize the hardship of the camp. But now for us, it was a bit hard for us from outside, how to survive on our own. We did not have jobs. We did not have businesses. We are not qualified in any field of a job. So we thought of going back, but wanting to go back, many people were running away. People we knew were running away, coming out, and were telling us, you know what, hang on from outside. Urban refugee is better than refugee camp life. I'm thinking of what I'd gone through back. It wasn't easy. So I decided not to go. Then we stayed. Now time for education reached. Children were growing. Time for education reached. Remember, they have a space of 1 year in between. The first child started school. We have to pay school fees. We have to pay rent. We have to buy food, because when you become an urban refugee, there is totally nothing you get from UNHCR, not from the government of Uganda. So everything was on us. But still, even if you're in the camp, what they give you is never enough. It cannot run you for a full month. To the point in camps, people decide. They say, okay, instead of dying starvation from here, Let's go back. Some Sudanese have gone back to war-torn areas. Reason? It is better. They have hope. They will have food. But I said no, because I don't have anywhere to go. If I knew back home properly, maybe I would have gone back. But still, I don't know the place. I don't know Darfur. I don't know much about it now. And still, even if I knew much about it, it's a war-torn area. So I said, there's no way I'm going. Uganda was peaceful, or Uganda is peaceful. Only the hardest is just survive in it. There are no opportunities. The refugee is never supported. I said, no, let's hang on here and we see what will come. Just on hope for a better tomorrow. And that's how things started. We started failing to pay rent. We could not pay school fees. Feeding becoming hard. Things are a bit terrible. Things are a bit horrible for us. Then in 2001, I would say it was not planned that God gave us a child. We got another child and we named her Reina. She's 4 now. And that's how we got 3 kids. 3 kids. Then I really tried all my best. I've done everything. There's no job I've not done. And as long as they're paying me, the job is not against the law. There's nothing I don't do. My wife does everything. But still, even this, what we are talking about, the jobs talk of, the labor jobs, they're never daily. They're never daily. In a week, you can work like 4 or 5 days. 4 or 5 days. But, and the payment, like if you go to dig, to work in someone's farm, in Ugandan currency, they'll pay you like around 5,000, around $1.5. And that's how, when we're working, we can work for like 5 to 4 days in a week. And when you go to work, they can pay you like 5,000 in like 1.5 US dollars a full day. So when you go back, you have to buy food. You have to plan for another day when you're not sure that you'll get work or you won't get it. You have to pay fees. You have to pay rent. You have to pay medical bills in case a child is sick. And falling sick with children is daily. We thought of all ways. We've done everything. We've reached out to every place. There's nothing left to do. It's not that we are looking for bigger things or better things or luxury life. No. But now, surviving is also becoming hard for us. Really very hard for us. Then there is there's a friend I've had. He's an Australian. He has known us for some time. Then he told us, you can run a fundraising page. It can help you. You can get help from kind-hearted people. Write your story. You post it. You can get help. And we did that in October 2024, last year. For almost 10 months now, down. Our campaign has no voice. There's no one. Maybe people are not seeing it. Maybe our voice is not loud. Maybe we cannot reach to people who can help. Currently, there are days when children ask for food. You go to bed to sleep. Children are asking for food. You don't have. You tell them, we shall have tomorrow in the morning. Tomorrow morning reaches, they ask for food, you don't have. As I speak now, if I can show you here, there is a friend we came to. There's a friend we are staying with. We failed to pay rent. We are being demanded rent for 4 months. We could not afford it. And we came to stay with our friend here. So that's why my family is now. I'm at someone's place. And we are given a space where we're sleeping. But think of this, we are 4. We are 5. We are given a space for only a mattress. It's very hard. We don't have a home. My kids are no longer going to school. Even if I always wake up every day. I walk, I move around looking for jobs, but still very hard to find. Then once in a while, my wife gets also where she can wash clothing from, but still, what she's paid, or when I get, we bring it back and we share it at where we are staying. But mostly, we do not have a home. We do not have where to stay. We do not have where to start from. And that's why I was looking for help from somewhere. And that's why I came to you. And that's why I reached out to Refugee Radio. Maybe being an organization or a community group that is helping refugees, maybe there is a way they can help us too. How to amplify our voice. How to help us reach out to the world.
And can you tell us about the plan, what you're looking to fundraise and what you're looking to do with the money?
My plan for this fundraising is, one, I want to get a home. How? Yes, getting a home, frankly, or getting a home without getting like a small portion of land where we can cultivate food from. Won't be just enough. So our plan is, if we can get this money, we shall get like an acre of land. We build a home on it. Yes, we shall always be buying food, but maybe once in a while, but we need to get a home, then at least where we shall be cultivating our own food when we are not buying it. One of the hardest thing is buying of food and renting. So the first thing is we buy some piece of land, a small piece of land, we build a house on it, then we can always grow food. We stop the buying of food. And then me, myself, I can start a business of bricklaying, local bricklaying as my work, than moving around to look for jobs. It would help me to raise some money that can always support my family, because I will not be spending on rent. I will not be spending on food. I believe if we can get a place and we build a home where we can be growing our food, it is really a great hope for us for a better future. And it can give us an opportunity in life. I don't know. Right now, yes, we have a dream of that. And I have a dream of that. Yes, it can work. Yes, it's going to help us. We are very hopeful of it, and it will. Then, despite of all what we have gone through, we have kept on dreaming for a better life for our children. Yes, we're not getting a lot of money. We are not getting anything, but we have kept them in school. Always, they don't do like the final exams, but at least they always go to school. They study. Even if when we change to another location and they go to another school, when they sit for interviews for the promotion exams, they always pass. So my plea is maybe as we get a home, if any person is willing to sponsor our children too, like until we can support ourselves fully, then we take up from there also. We want a home and a better future for my children. The rest as a man, I will handle and I will start from there if I'm empowered and if I'm given an opportunity. We want a home, yes, but also the education for my children is really on my heart. Maybe I'm also going through this because I don't have any skill. So in me, I feel if my children are trained, are educated, they can overcome the situation I'm going through. It's really very shameful to keep begging. Shameful. But it's what I've to reach out to the kind-hearted people. Someone or some people who can help me and maybe sponsor my education, the education for my children. I can always feed them. I can always dress them. But education. Do I cry for a home? Do I cry for their education? I've seen some refugees. I don't know how they've had there, but there are some refugees who are lucky. Fine, they're going through the same situation like me, but at least they're in that school. It hurts me more. It breaks me down when I see my children are not going to school. And when they go to school, they're never in a school for a long time because every year I keep changing them. Every year. Time reaches and around when you visit, when they have gone to almost all schools. One school, you left a date, you did not clear the school fees. Another one still. So you're forced to change. They've never lived a normal life. They've never enjoyed the childhood. The same things I went through has followed them. Frankly, I don't know. The very situation I've gone through when I was young, it's what they're going through. I didn't expect this to follow them up, but I have no power to stop anything. At this point is to ask for help. Kind-hearted persons who can help us. But on my side, I'm very contented with Uganda. Fine, I tried resettlement and it failed several times. It failed. Then I came to terms. I said Uganda is my permanent home now. But do I see it? Fine. They are not seen as the one seen, because for them, they can speak good local language of all where we've been. Secondly, they have grown up from here. If they're educated, they will compete for jobs. Right now, for the time I've been here, I identify myself as a Sudanese Ugandan now. I just need a startup, a push in life, and a support for my children. I'm not looking for bigger things, just something small. Basics for life. Basics for life. Because time comes in life when you cry to very many people and no one answers you. You feel you're abandoned. You feel you are less of a human being. Why? I always see, because after when I opened this, I always see some people reaching out to the world. They are helped. But for 10 months, it's breaking me down, really. I've only known life of suffering. I've passed it to my children. There's nothing I can do to help. I'm holding on hope, but the hope does not come true. Frankly, I don't know. To this point, I always wonder, God forbid, if I happen to leave this world at this time now, how would they remain? How? Thank you, Mr. Steven.
You're most welcome. Thank you for getting in contact with me. It's very brave of you to tell your story and come and share all of this with a complete stranger and with all the other strangers that are going to be listening to. But as you say, we just need to find some kind strangers, and maybe we can help.
Thank you. But a person in my situation and you cannot express yourself, then it's very hard to get help. Because when you don't speak up, no one will listen. No one will know. I'm really very grateful to have someone to listen to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening to the Refugee Radio program. Today we were talking to Kirabo Robert about his experiences as a refugee trying to build a new life for his family and his quest for shelter, food and dignity. Since I spoke to him for this interview, I discovered that the person they were staying with has been evicted and now the family are going to be homeless again. So the situation has become even more urgent. If you would like to find out more about how you can support the family, then please visit the website refugeeradio.org.uk/Robert, where there is a link to the crowdfunder campaign where people can donate to help them. If you are not able to support them directly yourself right now, then please consider visiting the page anyway so that you can share it on your social media and help get the word out to other people. Let's help this campaign get out to as many people as possible and give this family a chance to break the cycle. Thank you again so much for listening to the program today and for your time. That website again is refugeeradio.org.uk/Robert.